I want to talk about Bitcoin Cash and why its price run up, I think, is insane. And the reason I think it's insane is because I think Roger Ver is insane. Now, here's the thing. I mean, if I'm wrong here, please tell me because I haven't had anyone tell me why this is wrong. And this Roger Ver, he's either a liar or he's crazy. So this is him talking on CNBC about a week ago. And I'm just going to play this one clip, and then we'll talk about how everything he's saying, it's just he lies, and most people like just believe it. But let's go through it, and I'll prove why what he's saying is wrong.
Bitcoin Cash actually has utility. You can actually use it to pay people around the world, and you can do it for less than a penny.
So first of all, I mean, just you can use it. What can you buy with Bitcoin Cash? You can't use it anywhere. I understand that's the plan in the future, but you can't. But let's go on.
$1 million from the beach here in St. Kitts to you in snowy New York, and it costs less than a penny, and you receive it on your phone instantly. If I tried to do the same thing.
Okay, so it costs less than a penny and is instant. Really? So let's look here first of all at these claims. This is bitinfocharts, which is respected statistics. I haven't heard anyone say bitinfocharts is not reliable. So this is where I'm getting my info. This is block time. It takes this much time to get one confirmation. This is Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash. And you can see here, looks like Bitcoin Cash is a little slower than Bitcoin. Takes 10 minutes to get a confirmation. It's not instant. Where does he get this from? And how come no one questions it? Am I wrong? Isn't that what a block time? So the earliest you can get a confirmation then is 10 minutes. And usually I think people want multiple confirmations. So it's more than 10 minutes to get a confirmation. Right? And according to this chart, just quickly here. Well, let's just, I want to stick to the what he said. So that's the time is wrong. It's not instant. I don't, stellar lumens is 5 seconds. I believe that's the fastest one I'm aware of. And, so, okay. Now, transaction fee. Average transaction fee. Okay. So, Bitcoin obviously has gotten expensive here. I'm not showing the end of my screen on the thing here, but it just went up. It's like $30. Okay. But let's take it out so we can see Bitcoin Cash. The fee, much cheaper than Bitcoin. I give them that, but it's gone up, and now you can't see the far right of my screen, but it's now it's 25 cents. Now, okay, doesn't make it super expensive. That's pretty cheap, especially when you're comparing it to wire transfers, but it's not free. It's not 1 penny, it's 25. Why does he say this? Yeah, and maybe I understand why no one says anything because maybe they don't know, but I mean, is somebody, or if I'm wrong, please somebody point out how I'm wrong here. Let's continue.
With Bitcoin Core, it would probably cost $50 or $100, and it might not show up for hours, days, or even weeks. So there's a real difference in the amount of utility between the two. And if you're looking at
Okay, so if you do Bitcoin, so let's get back to Bitcoin here. He says, it'll cost $50. Honestly, when he did this, it was around 25. Now it's up to, today, it's at like $32. But again, he's saying hundreds, and it might take a week. I mean, it takes about the same amount of time as it does for Bitcoin Cash. So it's just kind of annoying. And I just want to look a little bit further into the absurdity of these claims about Bitcoin Cash being so much better. Let's compare it to, now Litecoin, which is another fork of Bitcoin, right? Litecoin, and let's just compare Litecoin to Bitcoin Cash. So first of all, okay, so these are the fees. Well, there's another thing I wanted to look at before I did Litecoin, but now that I'm here, let's see if this makes sense. Okay, block time. Here's Litecoin, and there's Bitcoin Cash in blue. Litecoin is much faster. And and very steady here. So and then as far as fees, average transaction fee, now they were similar. Litecoin just shot up with all their volume to be a little bit more than Bitcoin Cash. But the other thing to compare is you can't just say something's fast or something's cheap. It's based on how much volume. If there's no volume, it'll be faster, right? When there's high volume, the price shoots up. So if you're comparing transactions, okay, Litecoin, when they had 140,000 transactions versus Bitcoin Cash 25, so they had, what is that, 6 times as much volume, the price was a little bit higher. What if Bitcoin's Cash's volume was that high? Would their price have been, 20, who knows, $20? Like, we're not comparing apples to apples when you just compare price because it's based on volume, which made me think of another point. I looked at, so let's pull up Bitcoin. So Bitcoin Cash right now doing, this says here it was doing like 32,000 transactions per day. So how fast and what were the prices of Bitcoin when it was only doing 30,000 transactions a day? So let's go all the way back and look for number of transactions. So here, let's say right about here, Bitcoin was doing about the volume that Bitcoin Cash is doing, okay? And what is this? July 2012. So let's look at what was the transaction fee back then. July 2012. Now they changed average transaction. Okay, it's so low it doesn't even show up. But it's so around here, July 2012, right? Transaction fee was 0.000. It was less than a penny. So basically, when Bitcoin had the volume that Bitcoin Cash currently has, the fee was less than a penny, which is what Bitcoin Cash is claiming it has now. So if Bitcoin Cash scales to the volume that Bitcoin has, I mean, maybe its transaction fees will also be much higher. So looking at the statistics, I don't think there's any way we can say that Bitcoin Cash is not fast, it's not used as a payment, its fees are not low, and it certainly isn't the lowest. And we can just look at Ethereum here just to show you an example of a real currency. Transaction fee here, it's been at 30 cents. Wow, it just jumped up actually to almost $1. So it just shot up because of the transactions. But meanwhile, look at Ethereum's transactions here. Just shot up. I wish I had my screen. Can I show you? You can't see. It went all the way up to over 1 million transactions a day, which is like 3 times as much as Bitcoin. And how many times? I mean, it's like, I don't know. What's the math there? If Bitcoin Cash is doing 50, it's like 20 times the volume of Bitcoin Cash. So anyways, these claims by Roger Ver, to me, it's kookiness. And then the other reason people may like Bitcoin Cash is because they have this Craig Wright who claims to be Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, if you're Satoshi Nakamoto, just go to your account. They know the first, million coins. Satoshi Nakamoto has access to 1 million coins. So send one of them somewhere and prove it. But instead, he did this thing, as Vitalik Buterin said, it's a classic scam thing, is I'm going to prove that I'm somebody, but I'm only going to do it once, right now, in front of you with no cameras, sort of thing. And he did that with a few people. Or he did something like that. And it's just like, if you're Satoshi Nakamoto, then just prove it. Just send a coin from that account. I mean, right? But he didn't do that. And people believe that Craig Wright, who appears to be, to me, another liar, is part of Bitcoin Cash. And he's got 1 million Bitcoin that he can dump someday. And that's another reason people like Bitcoin Cash. So listen, if you're like me and you were just gifted a few Bitcoin Cash from, from Coinbase yesterday, I mean, my mouth is watering to sell it. Question is, what do I buy? Things are up a lot. But anyways, I'm not buying the Bitcoin Cash story. Now, that is not to say, I mean, I've believed this the whole way and it keeps going up. So that's not to say that the foolish money, as I see it, keeps chasing this thing to the moon. I don't know. I don't know what the price is going to be and it keeps going up. But long term, I don't get it. And this whole thing with the block size, and I said this before in another video, watch Vitalik Buterin's talk about scaling, sharding, proof of stake, side chains, plasma, Raiden, and details on all of those. Listen to Bitcoin Cash's plan for scaling. Big block size, which they already have, and it doesn't help the speed. And then they're going to do more with block. They love block size. I tell you, it's a weird crew, and they appear to be dishonest. So be careful of Bitcoin Cash.